Hi, I'm Ron Mulvey. Let's do some flowers. Watercolor them, draw them. Very simple. Anybody can do this. Get yourself a pencil and some arches, 140-pound paper or something similar. And start with just a very simple shape, a rectangle. This is the vase. Put a round shape at the bottom. Add a shadow. And then an oblique line, a line that will be the table. Go straight, hop over, and continue to the other side of the paper. Now we're adding in the flower shapes. Begonias have little circular flowers, what we call clusters. So we just take the basic shape and move up, adding those round shapes. I think I probably could have got a better pencil, but that's just the way I am. My pencils are never very sharp. So there you go, just add those flowers on the way up. A good rule of composition is to have a triangle. So I add another little bit of a shape at the top. Over on the right, there's some flowers you can practice. You can make your own flowers here. I'm just giving you the simple principles of how to get the color and the shapes onto this wonderful paper. So now I take some water and I wet around the flower shape. I'm going to be using cadmium yellow and cadmium red. This will make the perfect color for the begonia. Cadmiums are strong, so don't use them too thickly. Thin them down. Meanwhile, the paper is being soaked with the water. Now I'm going to go a little bit into it. Look at that, just splash it. The paper's dry in the middle, so you'll get those little white sparkles. We want some sparkle. Now because the paint is wet on because the paper's wet on the outside, as I add some pure cadmium red, and it's going to spread. You can see it's starting to drift out already. I'll take a nice little spot of pure cadmium yellow, put some little petals in the bottom, and we've completed the first part. You can see how that yellow has spread out. Add a couple more touches into the wet paint. And there we are, step one complete. And now all you have to do is finish it up. So the paper's really dry here, and I add more water around the outside of the floral arrangement. I haven't done the vase, just the floral arrangement. Keep wetting it. You want to soak that paper around the flowers. Dry in the middle, wet on the outside. Now I'm making a neutral color. I'm taking a little bit of the green, mixing it into the ultramarine and some phthalo, a little bit of violet. You just have to mix 3 colors and you'll get a neutral color. Okay, here we go. Now this is pushing the brush in and pulling it back out. Notice I haven't overmixed the paint. It almost looks like Payne's gray, but it's a little bit on the bluey green side, which goes well with the orange. Always choose a color that complements your main color. Just put that brush next to the paint. If you want to save a little white area like I just did, do that. Look at that, I'm just giving a halo of light around, well, basically a halo of darkness if such a thing exists. So we've bordered the outside. Now the paper's dry on the far right, well, the paper's dry on the outside. So now I thin down my paint and bring it down to the table. And you'll see how the phthalocene has already been sucked into the dry paper, but not where the paper was wet. So you can rub that line forever and it'll never go away. What you want to do is add some more paint, darker, mix it up, and just pop it in here and there. You get that variegated effect or mottled effect. Keep your eye on your paint as you do it. Keep your eye on the shape. Adjust the shape. Add a little more. Get that nice hard edge right there. Hard edge on the table. Pull the brush. Now we have some deeper colors coming. This is a violet color. You could get quinacridone violet, or you can make your own with phthalo and alizarin crimson. And right now the vase is looking a little square, but I'm putting the shadow in. Shadows usually have a violet cast to them, and they're soft on the edge. So I'm softening the edges, but where the shadow leaves the vase, it's going to be sharp, and now I soften the edge, so now it's starting to look round. Put a good little bit of dark right near the base. Shadow bases are always darker, and a little touch on the base. Here comes the sparkle. You see that Arches paper is bone dry. Just rubbing the brush on an angle gives you that nice sparkly look that watercolorists love. I always like it when I can get some sparkle. Now, even though your paint on your test area is dry, it's water soluble, so you can just add a little water to it and warm up the table. You want to warm things up. You don't want a cold picture. Cold pictures are hard to look at. So a little bit of that orange and put a little swipe into the purple or violet. And away we go. We're starting to get a good little watercolor. Take a look at it. As I'm painting, look over the painting. There are some shadows over those little petals. Now I'm holding that paper down with the end of a brush and really going for some darks. Remember, add your darks near the end of a painting, sometimes at the beginning, but mainly at the end. And even though that's going on dark, it's not going to stay that dark. It will lighten up. Keep your eye on where that little end of a brush is too. I'll be adding a little something there in just a moment. Take a look at it. It's drying. Here it comes. See, the background is, you can see through the flowers. So 2 little dots, and you have a nice little hole in your flowers. Holes are good. Now I'm just going to soften the edge a bit and pick up that little drip so it's not too dark. More pure cadmium red and pure cadmium yellow. And watch this, we're just going to add that little dot so that it leads you into the vase. And we're going to put some juicy darks down with cadmium. Not so thick that it's pasty, but it's very creamy. Now here we are the next evening, just adding some finishing touches. Bone dry again, little dots. Now I'm going to be adding those little flowers. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 12 o'clock. Oh no, we left out the other 7. Yeah, just 3s. Instead of 4s, I did 3s. So each little dot is spread out a bit. Give some form to the flowers. And this is not a painting I'm going to be spending hours and hours on, but look at that deep shadow now. See, we're getting a dark. A deep dark is what you want somewhere in your painting. Different values. Look at now, we're putting the deep dark over on the wall, and that will offset the orange beautifully. And then we have to make it go to the right. It's still a little bit too light on the right side, and I adjust it. And we're coming to the end here. I just add this little diagonal to point to the flowers. Good little design principle. I'm going to feather out that edge on the right. And we've come to an end. Look at how all those darks have sunk into the paper. It's amazing what you can do with a watercolor in under 10 minutes. Thank you for the flowers, and we'll see you soon.